Greetings, everyone. First of all, I have to say thank you, thank you, thank you to my goodies and my best men for your love and your support and for just rocking with your queen. You guys have been watching the ads, and I just want to say thank you, because your girl needs it. Thank you. Now, we're in the relationship series. We have continued. Seemed like we took a break, but when we look at the topics that I've done in the past week or so, it's all about relationship with self and with people, with family and all that stuff. So, we're continuing. Now, sometimes I want to do some story time, but I'm a little bit apprehensive because this YouTube street, people take your story that you share and think they can use it against you. But for my loyal subscribers, I'd like to get very close and personal on some of these videos. Now, I want to look at a relationship series as it relates to my own personal life and my journey to Canada. And then I'm starting it off with this. And if you like this, I will share more. Okay. Don't tell me that my personal story is just so boring and you guys don't want that. I just have to be telling the story of other people. For those of you who are reaching out with these stories, I just wanted to start telling your own stories, people. Tell your own stories because it is healing to the spirit, to the soul. It is therapy. I can tell you it's therapy for me to tell my own story. Now, if we're going to talk about my journey to Canada, we have to start at age 22. I came here under the family sponsorship. Someone sponsored me. So the first relationship that I was ever in, that's the person I married, and that is the person who sponsored me to this country. And listen, for all the people in Jamaica who want to travel wherever you want to go in the world, and you're kind of going on this adventure with somebody, I'm going to say that when it comes to being sponsored, think carefully, think long and hard about what it is that you're sacrificing to be with someone else. Okay, because again, we're going to talk about the marriage, we're going to talk about divorce, and we're going to talk about dating and all, not all in the same order. But in this story time, I'm talking about being married and getting the opportunity to join my previous partner in a whole new country. And I'm going to start with the day I came. So it was a Saturday. People, I do not conduct any life-changing business on a Saturday. It is not a good thing. Saturday, not because it's a Sabbath for some people, but the seventh the seventh day of the week, that day, let me tell you something. Don't get married, don't do business, don't travel, don't any life-changing event. I would not encourage anyone. At least I won't, because it's been proven time and time again. But nevertheless, I traveled on a Saturday when I realized that my ticket was booked for a Saturday. Because I was previously told not to do any life-changing thing on a Saturday, I was concerned. But nevertheless, it was September 9th, 1989. And my flight, when I landed in Canada, it was nighttime. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember going through customs. We had that package that we picked up at the Canadian High Commission, and they told me not to open it until I arrived here in Canada. And so when we came here, we went through customs, they sent me to another section. And when I went there, they opened it and they explained what they needed to explain to me. They gave me a package. They gave me the welcome package. And oh my gosh, it was so scary. This new life in a new country, I didn't know what to expect. And, here I am with my teenage sweetheart, really. He was older than me, but the age gap difference in relationship in Jamaica is usually between 5 and 10 years, whether it be the woman being the older, the man being the older. Nevertheless, I was the one that was younger, and I was trusting this person to take care of me, to help me find my way in a whole new country. And Canada is a huge country, people. You can take 5 hours to fly to another province, and you could take 4 hours to fly to Jamaica. So, and there are times when you go riding, you see all these empty lands. It's a huge, beautiful country. So I landed in this beautiful country, and I'm expecting this guy to just take care of me, because I had no family, I had no friends. It was so intimidating, but it was exciting too. And at 21 years old, guys, I looked like I was 16. I was looking so young. And I was very, very inexperienced. I had not lived on my own. I lived at my father's house. And so now I'm coming with this guy, and I'm expecting him to do the right thing. I remember landing that night, and when we dropped off our stuff at the house, I remember it was 97 Cloverleaf. I can say it now because that was years ago. 97 Cloverleaf. And we walk up to, if you are from Toronto, you know Raps. There was a Jamaican restaurant place called Raps. And I remember we walked up there that night because it was close to where the house was. And he purchased one food. We had not eaten all day, and he bought one food. Okay, I never thought anything about that. It just seems so It seems so romantic. Listen, people, when we talk about red flags, they're always there, but sometimes they camouflage themselves as something else. So when we purchased this one meal, for example, that just seems so romantic, but it was really another story to be told. That night we went to bed, and we shared a house. Now, on one side of the house, there's a woman with her three kids, and above us, the landlord was living there. It was a Jamaican lady who knew how to hustle. She rented a house, and she rented the lady with the three kids. She rented us one room, and she rented the basement. Oh my gosh, I'd never seen anything like that. It was like I'm just not used to living in a house with other people. You usually live with in that house with your family. So it's a rooming house, it was called at the time. And so we went back home. We had that one dinner that he purchased. And in the middle of the night, someone was knocking on the door. And he got up and he opened the door. This guy came in, and a guy, he said something to the guy. And then I saw the guy, took a spot on the floor and went to sleep. And I was like, okay. The room was so tiny. It was the size of like a good bathroom, really. And I said, okay, well, when then the next morning I said, who's that guy and why was he sleeping on our floor? And he said, when I was coming to Jamaica, he had asked me to stay, if he could spend a few days here because he lost his place, or his woman kicked him out. Yes. And of course, my husband didn't know my papers had come through. My landed papers had come through the day before he came to Jamaica. And when I called to let him know that I received the paper, his dad said, because I relayed the message to his dad said, oh, he's actually coming to surprise you tomorrow. So when he comes, just act surprised. So when he came to Jamaica, it was not my intention to leave right away with him, or he never even knew I got the paperwork until he landed. And I just got so scared of traveling by myself. So I just said, okay, I had enough money in my bank account, because he was like, I have to come back, and because he didn't bring his visa, and he's gonna have to pay for my ticket. But I had my own money, guys. So because I was working. So I said, I can buy my own ticket. I just didn't want to travel alone. And so, yes, I can tell another story time about what that process was, about getting all the final things ready to come to Canada. But we came, as I said earlier. And so the guy didn't know that his woman was going to be there. So, of course, the first night he comes, the second night, in the middle of the night, the guy knocks the door and he comes in again and he takes his position on the floor. And I'm like, wow, what's going on here? Third night, the guy does it again. And I'm like, okay, that's it. I did not sign up for this. I don't have a problem going back to Jamaica. I am not sleeping in a room with two men. And he's like, I don't know how to tell him. I said, you got to figure out how to tell him. Figure this out. And so he told the guy, and the guy never came back. I cannot believe that man is one big bum. You got some big worthless Jamaican bum in this country. They live with women, and when women kick them out, they got no place to go. So, that was not a good thing. It was strange. And that same night, also, a lady was knocking on the door and begging the person to come and give something. The lady was pleading, and it's so strange. I've always had this spiritual insight. The way she was begging, she sounded like somebody who, needed that pharmaceutical powder, the white one. And I'm like, why would this lady be knocking on your door? And he said, it's the guy that was staying here. It's his client. I said, what do you mean client? I kind of figured out, and that was one of the reasons I was like, I'm not staying here with this guy. I can't believe he actually wants to stay here, even though he realizes that your partner is here. People, the story is going to get more intense, but I ain't sharing it with you unless you want it. So you got to say, I want it. I want to hear more. I want to hear journey. Listen, this should be documented in a book, but hey, this is documentation just the same. All right, guys. So continue to do the thing that you're doing. And thank you so much and bless you. I needed that kind of engagement. I needed that kind of encouragement, and you're giving it to me. And I know people who tell me all the time, they play the video in the background even when they're busy. That's your way of contributing. Even if you're not ready to sit down and watch, find an old video. Yeah, bring them back. Stay blessed, everyone.